Hello and welcome back to Oba's Trending Gist, where we break down the most talked about moments in Nigerian politics. Today, we are diving into a captivating interview from the Mic on podcast featuring veteran journalist Seun Okinbaloye and former Minister of Youth and Sports Development Sunday Dare. In this clip, Sunday Dare makes some bold claims about President Bola Tinubu's administration, even predicting a victory in 2027. We are going to watch this in two parts and analyze the key takeaways. Let's get into the first part of this compelling conversation. So sit back and take a watch.
If we were in the US, which you worked for several years, there would have been midterm elections by now.
Yeah, but
and
we
usually
don't have a midterm election.
But there's also a midterm check on what the administration is in.
Just
in this midterm, by now, the Congress would have been split into rather red or blue as we speak right now.
Yes.
Is either the president is holding on to the National Assembly or he has lost it by midterm.
This president,
some governors will have lost their seats.
As per the midterm report, May 29th, this president is not a question of holding on to the National Assembly. This president clearly has succeeded in recalibrating the economy of this country. He has succeeded in changing the dynamics of our economy with strong indicators. And you know, some of these figures have been out there. That's why I'm not even reeling them out.
But why is the president so less popular than he was 2 years?
Who gave that verdict?
I mean, you saw the API poll.
No, the API poll. Go to the back end.
But you know what they say about the microcosm of the macrocosm.
Again,
you sample.
What is the sample size
from the pond?
You need to check. You need to check the sample,
when you
the
check,
sample size.
you can't drain your whole blood to get your DNA.
You know.
You have to take a sample.
That's what they call selective auditioning. So you have people can decide. Let's even leave perception. Let's talk about selective auditioning. Even when you can see the facts before you, you decide, no, I will be selective in the kind of content. You can be deliberate in looking for negative content about Bola Tinubu. If you're also deliberate in looking for positive content about his popularity and the rest, you will find it. Because that's part of my work.
How disturbing will it be for you, Mr. Dare?
I search out for content that are positive, content that are testimonials that say, this man is doing something. I deliberately search for them, because that is part of my work. But I also search for negative.
All right, a lot to unpack there. Sunday Dare confidently asserts that President Tinubu has successfully recalibrated Nigeria's economy. He mentions strong indications and changing dynamics. To give this some context, since taking office in May 2023, the Tinubu administration has implemented significant economic reforms, most notably the removal of the fuel subsidy and the unification of the foreign exchange rates. Now, these policies have had a turbulent impact, while the government argues they are necessary long-term measures to reset the economy. We've seen inflation rise significantly and the cost of living has become a major challenge for many Nigerians. Mr. Dare is essentially framing this hardship as growing pains of a larger successful economic recovery. He dismisses negative polls as a selective and not representative of the full picture. The core of his argument here is that the foundational work for economic recovery is not just underway, but is already a success. Now, let's watch the second part, where the conversation shifts to the president's popularity and his chances in the 2027 election. So watch this.
And I find both.
But for the man that you know, he's popular?
Yes.
Bola Tinubu is popular?
Yes.
If you go to the poll today, do you think he can win an election?
Yes.
In today's Nigeria?
Yes.
With the 36% of votes last time?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Are you living in Nigeria?
Last time, 2 years ago. 2 years ago, we had an election. Then you had not had the benefit of a President Bola Tinubu. In this country today, we've seen so many converts. Those that said, crucify him. Who is he to remove fuel subsidy? 2 years down the road with Bola Tinubu as president, many of them have come back to say, of course, they won't come out. When they say crucifying, by the time they say, he's doing... Close-set supporters who have said, wait a minute. This man he bit the bullet that time for the sake of our country. How many leaders could have done that?
How disappointing would it be for you if it's this man that you have known for several years, about 30 years, this man that you think you understand how his mind is running and what works in his mind, How damaging will it be for him if he doesn't get a re-election
President Bola Tinubu will be re-elected
in
for a second.
2027?
Yes.
What
He will
gives
be re-elected.
what gives you that confidence?
Primarily because from the policies and the reforms he has put in place, and also because, policies take time. When you look at the top economic experts, they give it a time of between 4 to 6 years before you can really see. I'm talking about key policies now, not even
That
initiatives.
if the voters see
But we
those
have seen,
reforms,
when you look at the alignment of policies touching on key sectors of the economy, look at the solid minerals economy, for instance, lithium and copper and all of this. The size of the world is now. It took this president to give the support, the focus in that sector. Our oil sector, what the story before now is different from what we have. The educational sector, the agri sector, the health sector. As we speak, 5,000 primary health centers are being reinvigorated. Already 1,000 are fully operational. I can go on and on. Let me just, I think by the share, when you sit down and you look at, in just 2 years, you look at the sheer number of policies, the sheer number of initiatives that have been onboarded by this administration, you will see a leadership adept and conversant with development. But more critically, a president that understands that this giant has been punching below its belt, who is now waking up some of those critical things that we preferred to sidestep or just procrastinate about, is beginning to interrogate them and beginning to confront them, the devils that have held this country down. So that's what happens.
President Bola Tinubu will be re-elected in 2027. This is a powerful and direct statement from Sunday Dare, when pressed by Seun Okinbaloye on the president's current popularity, essentially given that he won with 36% of the vote in the last election. Dare's confidence doesn't waver. He attributes this to the tough but necessary decisions the president has made, like removing the fuel subsidy. His argument is that many who initially criticized these moves have now become closer to supporters after seeing the supposed benefits. He points to investment in various sectors like solid minerals, oil, education, and health as proof of a working plan. He specifically mentioned a plan to reinvigorate 5,000 primary health centers with 1,000 already operational. This is a part of the administration's broader strategy to improve grassroots development. Dare is essentially saying that the positive results of these policies will become more apparent over time, securing the president's re-election. So what's my take on all of this? Sunday Dare presents a very strong defense for the Tinubu administration, painting a picture of a president who is making courageous, long-term decisions for the good of the economy, even if they are unpopular in the short term. He frames the current economic hardship not as a failure, but as a necessary sacrifice for future prosperity. His confidence in the 2027 victory is rooted in the belief that by the time the election comes around, the fruits of these tough policies will be undeniable to the Nigerian people. However, the reality on ground for many Nigerians is one of the significant economic pressure. The high inflation rate has diminished purchasing power, and the immediate benefit of policies like the fuel subsidy removal are not yet widely felt. While the government has initiated social intervention programs, such programs to cushion the effects, the scale of economic challenges remains vast. The question becomes one of perception versus reality and timing. Will the economic indicator improve significantly enough before 2027 to convince the electorate? Will the closest supporters Sunday Dare speaks of come out to vote? Seun Okinbaloye's line of questioning highlights this very real disconnect between the government's long-term vision and the immediate struggling of the people, while Dare sees a leader taking the road less traveled like Margaret Thatcher. Many Nigerians are simply trying to navigate the difficult terrain of the current economy. Ultimately, the 2027 election will be a referendum of these very policies. Sunday Dare is betting that President Tinubu's economic gambit will pay off. It is high-stake political calculation, and only time will tell if his confident predictions come to pass. What are your thoughts? Do you agree with Sunday Dare's assessments? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more trending gists. Thanks for watching.